Hey, everybody. Thanks for being with us again and with another customer of ours, Lindsay. Hi, Lindsay.
Hello.
And I was just saying a quick hello to Lindsay, and I don't even know her dog's name yet, but we're going to find
Mhm.
out. And I was just telling her that we set these up, and I don't even like to know anything in advance anymore. I like to come at the conversation fresh. So I told her we're going to start recording. So Lindsay, what I think we did is we found out you probably posted something on Facebook, and then we reached
It
out
was
to you.
Instagram. Yeah.
It was Instagram.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. So let's start with thank you for doing this, by the way,
Of course. Yep.
and tell me what we're talking about. We talking about dog or cat? Is it one dog, two dogs, three dogs? The name of
So,
your dogs.
so I have two dogs, Nova and Thelma. Nova is the dog that had the issues. And so she's the one I give the Gussy's gut to both of them. But Thelma's the one that's been the more noticeable change. Um,
Good.
Mainly because, did you want me to dive right
Well,
into that?
yeah. Tell us what we'd like to do for everybody watching is like what Nova's issues were before Gussie's got and
Sure.
after, and just we'll separate the two. So yeah.
Sure. So I got Nova in October of 2020. So she was a bit of a COVID dog. She came from Saving Great Animals, which is a rescue organization in Seattle, Washington. And she's actually from Mexico. And she came from the streets of Mexico and came to me at first as a foster.
Okay.
And then, of course, that was not it was a foster fail, but not really because it was great for me. And she is a pity Australian cattle dog kind of mix. Those are the two main breeds in her. And she is 5 years old now.
Okay.
And yeah, about 5.5. And she started to have she had really bad diarrhea. She was vomiting. She had really bad skin issues. She's all black. And then her belly would get these awful rashes, bad ear infections, typical of the pitties, that kind of thing. When we went to a lot of vets, spent a lot of money, the only thing that really seemed to calm it down was to be on prescription food. So she was on this really expensive prescription food for years. And that was it. I couldn't switch food. I couldn't give her any other treats without it completely upsetting everything in her. I started to see your guys' ads everywhere on Instagram. And I was like, I'm willing to try anything. Let's see what we can do. And I put myself on a strict regimen with it, every day I think we did 30 days at first. And then I kind of took a break because I wanted to see, what would happen. And sure enough, things started to get better after about the 30 days. And then I took this little break from the Gussy's gut. And within like a day or two, her skin was all rashy again. And I was like, okay, there's my answer. So I promptly did the subscribe and signed up for that. And she gets that, she gets like 1 teaspoon, I think, or what, I can't remember.
Was she like 20 pounds?
Oh yes, sorry. So she's about 22 pounds. She's
Yes, 1 teaspoon.
Little. Yeah, so she gets 1 teaspoon of the Gussy's gut daily,
Yeah.
and the sprouts and grasses. I've added that now too, because she's a big grass eater. And I've noticed, a bit of a decline in the grass eating with that. But the biggest thing is there's no rash, there's no diarrhea, there's no vomiting. Her ear infections are gone. And I can give her other treats, like other food that are treats, without it bothering her, which is huge. Huge for training, as to be able to just, before it was only her food. And dogs are going to get kind of bored with that. And so training would be a little tricky because she's food motivated, but not when it's the same thing over and over. So now being able to introduce, like string cheese or other, I like these fruitables, I think they're called, or there's some sort of dog treat, and she really likes those, but never before could have them without it setting off, a series of issues.
What would happen when you gave her other treats? Like give me some examples.
So it was, pretty alert. It seemed like allergies, like just bad allergic reactions. Her tummy, her skin would break out very red. It would get very dry and red. And then the ear infection. She was also getting these weird infections on her toes, like right by her nails, in the bed of her nails. And so that was happening. And then she was just, the general like kind of itchiness that she was doing. And then she wasn't having very good bowel movements. It wasn't. And so that would then also create anal gland issues. So it was, all these things. And she's just the best dog and she's the sweetest thing. And I just wanted to find something that was easy for both of us, that was going to help her and make her feel better. And I found it.
Oh, great. Thank you. And so you already touched upon it, but what is like post life for her? So we already know she doesn't have the bad things. So is there any other benefits that you're seeing like that have come out in any way? Her behaviors, her sleep, there's so many things it could be. I don't want to put words in your mouth.
Yeah, no, I definitely, I think her coat is looking a lot better. She's very shiny. Like I said, she's all black and she's very shiny now, which is good, of course. And I think her energy levels have been way up. I've noticed a difference in, being when she's outside and running around or we're on walks or whatever. She's very, she's more alert, it seems, and I think she's just happier and she's more comfortable. Like her body's not attacking her. It's being normal.
Yeah, I that's what the first thing I thought of is like, it doesn't like really necessarily give you energy. Although nutrients give you energy, but I think the thing is a lot of these dogs, when they're made more comfortable and they're, in a more balanced state, it's like us, like, if you have allergies, do you want to go play with a ball and run around? Like,
No.
And the other thing is just like, if you have digestive problems, we know how that makes us feel. It's like, like if you have plans tonight on a Friday night, which is we're recording on a Friday, you'll cancel those plans. You're like, I have digestive problems. But yet we can't ask. And we have these dogs that are under constant distress for whatever the reason. And there are many that are just not feeling well. And we're putting them on a leash. We're dragging them out because they have to get exercise. I always think about that. I think about, boy, I'll cancel anything at the drop of a hat if I don't feel well.
Right.
And they can't, so people think that's more energy, which I appreciate you saying that, but I think a lot of times it's just, like
feel normal.
There's like a nice, rest and like a homeostasis that is, if you don't even have to feel great. You just have to feel okay.
Well, I would notice that her tummy would make a lot of sounds and, I'd hear all that gurgling and stuff throughout the day and she'd lick herself a lot and all of that since Gussy's gut has stopped. And so I think that that's a huge part of it, that she just feels better. And so that way her life is just better because she feels better, which we can all, we can all understand that and appreciate that.
Yeah. The other thing is you brought up the ears. So I had this is pre-Gussy's gut, long time ago, I had a yellow lab. Yellow labs are a lot more prone to allergy things, and so are brown labs, and then black labs. And this guy was the sweetest dog. His name was Owen. So sweet. And really a gift. And he never, we would always joke, Owen never did nothing to no one. Like just the most gentle soul. But he'd have the this and the that. And I had great holistic vets that helped me with it. He was fed an incredible raw diet. Lord knows if he was given a poor diet, what would have happened to him. But he, he had his issues. Well, he had one period for about 6 months where he had really bad ear. And anyway, the holistic vet that been my good friend for a long time finally looked at me and said that he might need an operation and he might lose his eardrum.
Oh
And that
no.
chronic infection caused scar tissue.
Yeah.
The good news is I called my doctor who gave me a treatment that wasn't meant for that, and it resolved the scar tissue. That's a whole other situation that is a miracle.
Yeah.
And so we didn't have to have the surgery. So I just I threw the kitchen sink at him and we resolved it. But these chronic infections can be really, really serious.
Mhm.
Obviously, so much so that your pet could lose their hearing,
Yeah.
dog or cat. It's really serious to stay on top of these things. And so, kudos to you for looking at the nutrition first and, getting that all dialed in. And it's not easy.
It's not easy, no. And when this journey kind of first started with Nova, it was getting very expensive. As you know, I mean, vets are very expensive, and especially out here in Seattle, it's
Yeah.
it's a lot. And I wasn't actually getting clear answers either. And so that was the most frustrating thing. I'm spending all this money, but I'm not getting clear answers other than this quick fix of this prescription food, which they're not even supposed to be on for long term, and she was on it for a couple years. So but it's been life-changing to have something like that.
It's the mystery of life and the mystery of disease and the mystery of illnesses and all of those things, imbalances, they're a total mystery. And what nobody wants to hear when they're really sad for their pet and they're maybe not sleeping because their pet's waking them up many times in the middle of the night itching, or they're spending an inordinate amount of money, a tremendous amount of money, and then also having to do these appointments, and it's very stressful.
Yeah.
What they don't want to hear is that there's not a direct answer, but I can honestly tell you that that's the norm.
Yeah.
I am fortunate in my world to be able to, I know the finest vets in the world, all over the world. I can honestly tell you that they all say the same thing, which is really what it comes down to is the more experienced the vet, the better the educated guest. So you usually get to the root of it pretty fast. But even though you can come at it with an educated guess, everything that we recommend, they say, everything we recommend, there's really a 33 chance. So what that means is 33% of every dog that we give this to, 33% of them, it'll work great. 33%, okay. 33%, it won't work at all.
Yeah.
And we see that pretty much. I think we have somewhere around a 65 to 70% success rate with our customers in terms of oh my gosh, this is great. I love this. The rest of them either need 90 days, like a real long period of time for the system to just the inflammation to go down, because all these are levels that are causing the symptoms that we see. And what we end up seeing has been that's been in process for weeks, if not probably months or years. And so you're not going to get rid of these things overnight. So that's why I always tell people the diets, if you look at these detoxes and these diets, they're all 90 days. And they're 90 days for a reason, because it takes that much time with anything natural and nutritious for it to really take hold and do its work. And then for the positive side effect, I would say the positive side effects are what we would call benefits, the payoff for those to start to reverse, and you don't see the negative benefits, which are, that's what any layman person can see. My dog's itching. That's not good, but the positive benefits are more invisible. You start to see the itching go away last, but so it's a really interesting thing. I wish we had, for my own dogs, I have one dog now, but when I have multiple dogs, it's you just love them and you're so concerned. And then you start getting panicked because you're oh my gosh, it's been 4 weeks. What am I, and I'm at my 5th vet visit, and then they want me to see a dermatologist, and that's how much money. And then, and then in your case, you got this expensive food and they're not even supposed to be on. So in your head, all of our customers are incredible pet people. So their concern is way up here. And they're oh my gosh, I have a clock ticking on this pet food because I'm
Mhm.
not supposed to be. So they're managing all these timelines,
Yep.
and so it just more anxiety, more stress.
Yep. Which then I think also kind of translates to our dogs. So I'm a big believer in the energy that we share, and especially with the dogs. So yeah, I want to say that Nova's been on the Gussys gut consistently for probably 6 months now.
Oh,
It's
good,
been maybe more. It's I've gone through a couple bags. So
good.
but then I guess I also have my other dog who's 80 pounds, so she gets a little bit more every day. But yeah, so she's been on it for a while. And oh, the other thing I wanted to mention was that neither of them get like a raw food diet.
Yeah,
I wish I had the time and the patience for that, but I don't. They
yeah.
get, they get kibble. What do I feed Forza 10? Have you ever heard of that brand?
No,
Okay, it's a dog food brand. I think it's from like Iceland or Norway or something, and it's fish based, and they both really like it, and so
great.
that's kind of what they get. But there's nothing. I just wanted to point out, yeah, that they're not on any sort of like raw diet
That's
or
great. I
or
mean,
anything
that's
like
great
that.
from the point of view. Like, I appreciate you sharing that because,
Yeah.
like, we get this question all the time.
Mhm.
Can we only feed your product with a raw diet? We say no. Like, if you're going to do something impactful, we always want you to look at the raw food diet. Our veterinarian is the authority on the raw food diet. Of
Yeah.
course, we prefer the raw food diet,
Mhm.
and you've got both cost and you've got time, just like you said, and there's lots of reasons why people just don't want to go that route. And there's
Mhm.
also some really, hey, look, when I was a kid, there was like 4 pet food companies and,
Mhm.
you
So
know,
many, yeah.
yeah. And like now there's just, there's all kinds of variety. So the fact that I
Mhm.
even haven't even heard of yours, I'm going to
Yeah.
start, I'm going to go once we hang up, I'm going to go look at that fish, company
Yeah.
from New Zealand or Norway or Iceland or wherever you
One of
said.
those places,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate it,
Sure.
Lindsay.
Thank you. Thank you for this product. And it's just been wonderful. I'm so happy to see my little girl thriving like this. And it's just been a wonderful change. And I'm happy it's such an easy thing that I can give her every day without, any issue. And that's one more thing I was laughing at. It seems like people maybe have some dogs that don't like the taste of the Gussy's gut or something. And I had absolutely no issues whatsoever. Both of my dogs were like, I'll just put it on their food and then add some water. And neither one of them ever were like, no, no, thank you. Like they gobbled it down. So don't know. Some people have picky dogs, I suppose, but
Yeah, I mean, some breeds are really picky,
yeah.
and look, people know their dogs, and you pretty much
Mhm.
know your dog's picky.
Yep.
So if you're not willing to go like to pretty extraordinary lengths, depending on the pickiness,
Hmm.
if you're not willing to like add like at the beginning some like crazy stinky things like tuna water or like
Yeah.
from a tuna can or anchovy paste or yogurt or whatever the thing is that you
Mhm.
think will get your dog that your dog can't resist, then and if that won't work,
Yeah.
what can
Then
you
yeah.
do?
What do you
Yeah,
do? Yeah.
you have to get really creative with those dogs,
Yeah.
or we're just not an option for you.
Right. Yeah. Yes. I was really glad to see that they weren't. I mean, I knew that they weren't picky, but I was still a little bit nervous when seeing that some dogs don't like the taste of it, but no problem whatsoever.
Well, I only have Labradors, and let me tell
uh,
you, they got no problems.
yeah. No,
They
they'll eat
will
anything,
eat
right?
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was
Of course.
great to meet you. So happy to
Yes.
hear
Thank
about your
you.
yeah, thank you for sharing that story with us, and thank you everybody for watching, and have a
Thank
great day,
you.
everybody.
Thank you.
You're
Bye.
welcome.